Chief here for CTT. Yeah, I know I'm a couple days late. I've been busy. As I said, the situation in Ukraine isn't making me very happy. I'm sleeping, but I'm not sleeping, so I'm tired all the time. I know that's an excuse. Chief, you can't have them. Just when I thought I was done, I'm not. Like I said, the last year there, I was so busy because I got my warrant officer packet in, and I got that in early spring, and then I got notified, I think in June, that I got accepted to go to WOBC, Warrant Officer Basic Course. I was busy with turning down the assignment to go to Department of Intelligence Army in the DC area. And then, like I said, I got the notice for Delta Force. About the beginning of my last year there, which would be 1998, finally put a date to one of these, the division got a tasking to send a team to go to Bosnia. 3 people came out of our battalion, the MI battalion. It was a young lieutenant, female. She was the only female that got selected. Me as the top sergeant, I was only a staff sergeant. I was kind of taken aback as to why there wasn't a more senior sergeant, because we were going to go to Bosnia, and I think a senior sergeant would have more sway in rank to be able to ask a fellow E7 or maybe a master sergeant E8, for something that we may or may not need while we're there. We weren't told what we were going to do. They selected, I think it was 16 soldiers. And there's my cat howling. Old age for him. He thinks he's lost right now. Snickers, we're fine. So we weren't given a specific task as to what our mission was. Like I said, 3 from the intelligence battalion. I think everybody else was more or less communications. We really didn't get assigned any 11 Bravos, which is your basic infantrymen. So we didn't really have, and we didn't get any MPs, military police. So we didn't get any guards per se. We were expected to, I don't know. Like I said, I was never specifically told what we were going to go over there to do in Bosnia, except that we were sending a team. I don't even know if they went, because they were supposed to go after I went to the Warrant Officer Basic Course. But we started preparation to go to Bosnia. So we had to take some classes. We didn't get any briefs on Bosnia. We didn't get any briefs, like I said, on what we were supposed to do. Hello, Snickers. He's down at my feet. Excuse me. Snickers, say hello to everybody. You're old. Nose itches. We really didn't get any briefs. Like I said, I had no idea what I was going to do over there except drive around. We weren't even assigned any vehicles yet, so we didn't even know what kind of vehicles we were going to take or what we'd be assigned to or anything. We were supposed to be a separate team. That much I knew. So like I said, we got to take some classes, just the basic stuff. So I finally got to take Combat Lifesaver. Now, in Combat Lifesaver, in order to pass that course, you have to give a fellow soldier an IV. So that means you get to poke him in the arm with a needle. Chief is squeamish. I've been squeamish all my life. The bloodier that the horror movies got as I grew up, the less and less I could stand them. Here's how bad it was. While I was in college, one of my law professors showed a old black and white movie on childbirth. We're talking vaginal. Come to find out, wow, my nose is itching. Excuse me. Rude. Come to find out, since my dad had a 8mm camera, I knew how to thread a projector, and I was the only one who knew how to properly thread the projector. I was not an audio visual geek and nerd in high school. So I did that. And the professor did say, if you do get queasy, you can leave the room. Like I said, black and white, no blood, I can handle it. Of course, they showed the birth. And I was doing fine until the narrator said, the cheesy-like stuff on top of the baby's head is the membrane from the placenta. That's where I lost it. It wasn't in color, but I had to leave the room, and I poked my head in. So that's how queasy I am. So to distract myself, I had the other MI soldier. He was like a specialist, and he was a tiny guy. He was just barely enough, had just the right height to get in the military. That's how tiny he was. So I was always looking down on him, and we paired up since we knew each other for this class. He stuck me, I stuck him with the needle. So in order to distract myself from watching the blood, now I can watch my blood bleed out of my arm. I won't fall down, I won't faint. I've had head injury where I was bleeding across my face and I was like, what? I didn't see it. And I've had a few other injuries throughout my lifetime where blood didn't gush, but blood was present and I didn't lose it. But to distract myself sticking this guy in the arm, since it wasn't me sticking myself in the arm like our class leader did, we had a instructor come over from the hospital, a fellow soldier, and he showed how to do an IV on yourself. I would not recommend it. It looked painful to me and very concentrated. I imagine after a few times doing it to soldiers, you can do it to yourself. So I sitting there chewing gum, and I'm not a gum chewer because most of my life I had dentures. I had a partial plate that came in and out, and gum would just get stuck in it. And so I'm chewing gum because I've got a partial in to distract me. I did it first time go, had fun. We did an exercise where the medic instructor, he used prosthetics and other stuff to make guys look like they were missing their arms, missing their leg, had a gut wound, had a head gash. I mean, he had the makeup to do that. So we would do like a 8-man team, 6 to 8-man team, and we'd be walking along this tree line and looking at these casualties, evaluating them. And of course, one of them, he had the prosthetic where the guy's guts are hanging out of his body, and for a gut wound, you don't let him have a canteen, you don't let him drink water. And of course, this guy's got like a canteen just within reach of him. He's acting like he's reaching for it. I went over and kicked it out of his path, and he looked up at me and he said, "Sergeant, you're the first one to do that." Because wounded soldiers, I guess, are always thirsty. I don't know. And like I said, this guy had a gut wound and he wasn't supposed to have water. And we learned how to carry with the pistol belts, when we take 2 pistol belts. Of course, you can't do that now because I don't think pistol belts are no longer issued. But you could lengthen 2 pistol belts, make it into a carrier that you drape under the victim or the guy you're going to pick up, and then you can sling your arms in, and that way you got a person on your back as you roll over and stand up, and you can carry him with pistol belts. But pistol belts are no longer issued, so that was a very easy way of carrying somebody. But of course, it's on your shoulders, not on your hips, as it should be, where you should carry the load. So we had fun in that class. But like I said, that's all we did. And one of the soldiers that I got assigned to, who's another specialist, and I had to ask him one day, "How many tattoos you got?" And he said, 16, Sergeant, but I'm not done. I'm like, okay, whatever. And but so when I got accepted for warrant officer basic course, I kind of filtered out of this group and they replaced me with somebody else. But like I said, I don't even know if they ever went. I don't think they did, because even at that time, by the time I left, there was still no word on where they're going or how they're going to get there. And now I need to talk about one other problem soldier. I had a problem male soldier, a couple of them, and then now I have a problem female soldier. She wasn't much of a problem. She was just mostly naive. One of the problems she had was that she went TDY for the first time. Now everybody knows when you go TDY, you accept the quarters that you're generally given because that's what they're going to pay you for. I think they went to the DC area, and for some odd reason, she wanted to level up. She didn't like the hotel they were staying at, so she leveled up to another hotel. And of course, she came back and then found out, oh my God, I got to pay the difference. And she probably doubled the price. So she got in trouble with finances to the point where I had to take her over to AER, Army Emergency Relief, to get her a loan so she could cover the cost. Now, the other problem she had was that she went with a sergeant. And this sergeant had the car. And everybody knows you get reimbursed for everything that goes wrong with that car and all the gas. But he made her pay half. Now my two E7s in charge of the platoon, they went over and talked to him, and he's like, nope, she moved. I had to go out of my way to get her, so she's paying half the gas. And they're like, you're getting reimbursed for the gas, and you're asking her for half the gas. I don't care. And we told her not to pay, but he threatened her with I don't know what. And like I said, my two E7s were very mad. Excuse me. Dang it. Sorry about that. I'm not going to edit this out. I don't know how to edit, so you get me as I am. Another problem I had with her, she finally came to me one time with a problem, a very big problem. She was dating one of my sergeants. She was also in my squad, and the sergeant that she was dating was also in my squad. Well, she got pregnant, and she had a premature abortion. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, premature abortion. So she lost the baby, which was a good thing for her, but her problem was that they had just recently broken up, and she did not know she did not know if he knew that she was pregnant to begin with, and then lost the baby because he was staunch Catholic, and she didn't want to suffer any more arguments with him. I said, don't worry about it. I said, if he wants to argue with you, you just come right to me and I will handle the situation. He's a sergeant. He works underneath me, and I will do what I have to do. So, no problems. She went off. I don't know how long she stayed in the military. But that is it for Fort Stewart now. I really hope so. This old age affects me, and it's like every time I think I'm done with a place, something else pops up. And I just wanted to say that I was going to go to Bosnia. I was a little excited, but I was also disappointed at the same time when it was just like, you're going to Bosnia? We don't know what you're taking. We don't know where you're going, but you're going to Bosnia. Prepare lightly for it, but don't worry about, yeah. So this Chief out. Remember, freedom is not free. The Ukrainians are proving it on a daily basis. They are 11 days in. They are kicking the butt of Putin. And to tell you the truth, I wish we had a president like President Zelensky instead of who we got. Chief out. Freedom is not free. Bye.